Right to left, and Bernard Flynn here. Paddy Moran going across to pick up the Meath danger man. Brian Steins playing deep. Now Paul Beelan, first touch of the ball towards Niall Guyden. Martin O'Connell dropping it deep in towards Colm O'Rourke, broken down by Paul Curran. John McDermott. Paddy Moran starting life at right corner back, up towards Dessie Farrell. Colm Coyle to drop down. Support here from Charlie Redmond, and Brendan Riley coming from behind, pulled him down. An invaluable panel member over the years, Brendan Riley, but this is what he did to Charlie Redmond. Any breeze that's blowing today appears to be blowing across the field towards the Hogan stand. First scoring chance of the match then for Dublin. And Michael McQuillan called into action straight away. Not such a good clearance with Dessie Farrell about. John McDermott trying to clear his lines. Brian Steins now. Great point. He took a bit of punishment as he was hitting that one, but he gets the first point of the day. There were a couple of late tackles coming in here. Watch as he was closed down there. Still managed to get the room to get in the kick. Colin Brady. Good vision to pick out Trevor Giles. That's Niall Guyden, however, mopping up the loose ball. Dropped in towards Dessie Farrell. Getting some support here. Good run by Mick Galvin. Fouled as he was making his way through. And a chance of another Dublin score. What a straightforward kick for a player of his pedigree. And Dublin lead by 2. So a very good start then for the side bidding for 3 in a row. Once again, it's John McDermott doing a lot of very hard work at midfield. There's 2 men in the attack right now there for Meath. One of them was Tommy Dowd. He left it behind to Dermot Deasy. The challenge from Brian Stafford takes himself out of trouble very well. Dublin playing with assurance. Players backing one another up. None more so than Niall Guyden. The bounce judged well by Dessie Farrell, trying to set a dummy there on Colm Coyle. Runs loose, John McDermott again, in quickly. Down towards Bernard Flynn. Flynn against Paddy Moran. Paddy now having switched across to the left-hand side to follow Flynn. On to Colm O'Rourke. Meath got their first point after nearly 8 minutes, and inevitably it's Colm O'Rourke from screen who gets it for them. If ever a player can be depended upon to snatch a score, it's surely Colm O'Rourke. Deadly with the finish. Once again it's John McDermott breaking it down. This time it's picked up by Jimmy McGuinness, found in the act of taking the ball up. Stafford was in there struggling against Kieran Walsh in the early exchanges. Now Paddy Moran. McGuinness totally unmarked. Tommy Dowd getting latitude and kicking the equaliser. Quick as a flash then, Meath come back. And their 2 central players, Dowd and O'Rourke, doing the business for them. Was initially very slack when McGuinness picked it up. And then Tommy Dowd got enough room to get away from Paul Curran. Struggled to get away, but a very true and trusty kick. Paul Curran. Nicely inside towards Mick Galvin, broken down to Charlie Redmond. Goal chance, great save by Michael McQuillan. That was a great chance for Charlie Redmond, but it produced an excellent save. Play still continuing. Brian Steins. Once again towards Mick Galvin. Fisted ahead to Dessie Farrell. Players calling for it. One of them is Niall Guyden away on the right-hand side. Dessie trying to chip it, but outside and wide. Such a promising move, producing nothing. This is where that ball was touched down for Martin O'Connell to the raiding and advancing Charlie Redmond, straight at the goalkeeper. Brendan Riley chipping it down nicely to Graham Geraghty. Good movement off the ball by the Meath men. The kick by Geraghty, ambitious in the extreme, but deadly accurate. And Meath take the lead for the first time in this Leinster final in the 13th minute. All their points coming from play. Space is opening up. Where was the marking there on Graham Geraghty? Guided was way off him. In the end, Geraghty took a great point. "15 minutes gone in the first half, and it's 3-2 to Meath. Paul Curran, chance now for the Dubs to set up a few attacks. Brian Stein was the intended recipient of the pass, but Colin Brady tracked him the whole time. Not the greatest of punches. His team in some trouble, and Charlie Redmond angling for the kick, looking for the equaliser. Always going to the right. Brian Stein still struggling to become a major force in midfield. McGuinness, Moran judges it well, but doesn't catch it. He's now on the ground along with Colm O'Rourke. They collided there accidentally. Brendan Riley is also down on the ground to the right of the action just now, and the referee's attention being brought to that. This is where Paddy Moran was coming out, and that's where there was a trip, I think, by Moran, and down went O'Rourke. Sean Boylan here is attending to the injured centre-half back. This is where Paddy Moran once again was coming out here. Rather fumbled the catch, then seemed to catch the leg of Colm O'Rourke. Charlie Redmond breaks it down, but there are 3 Meath players there. Charlie fouling. Cormac Murphy gets away. Tommy Dowd fumbles, enough for Dermot Deasy to nip in quickly. A nervous play in evidence at Croke Park in this Leinster final in these opening 20 minutes. Desi Farrow. Nicely transferred to Niall Guyden, winning the race against Colm Coyle, but needing support, and it's Graham Geraghty instead. It's Mick Deegan. Back there is John McDermott. Coyle, fouled it seemed by Mick Deegan. Not a good clearance. Mick Galvin lofting it high. There may well have been a Dublin player in the square as that ball just came in. Brian Stafford. Now under 40. Kieran Walsh has followed him out there. Cormac Murphy getting away from the challenge of Jack Sheedy. One of the promising young players. Not such a promising ball. Straight to Brian Steins. Desi Farrell. Colm Coyle attempting to drag him down, failed. Way on the left-hand side, he had support. Good save again by Mickey McQuillan. Martin O'Connell now, played so prominently in the league final against Armagh. Brian Steins, this should be his, but it's fisted away by Trevor Giles. Giles again. Paddy Moran now coming racing out for this. It's a very bad ball for Paul Curran. Instead it's Stafford. Cross towards Bernard Flynn. John O'Leary, look where he's come! Way off his goal. And he's fouled, and it's going to be a free in. And the referee, I think, is going to take his name for it. An amazing passage of play. And Brian White indeed has the notebook out to take the name of John O'Leary from the Dwyer's club in Balbriggan. Bernard Flynn was pursued out there. No question about the foul. Trevor Giles, the free taker. Scorer of 6 points against Laois, all of them from frees. He's belted it wide. It remains Meath 3 points, Dublin 2. With Meath with 4 wides now from this first half. Paddy Moran now. Kieran Walsh. Intended for Niall Guyden, who's switched wings with Pat Gilroy. The challenge on Colm Brady, rather ferocious. Taken quickly. And again Bernard Flynn skipping away from the would-be challenge to kick over. And Meath lead by double scores in front of an attendance of 50,172. Lovely quick thinking there by Bernard Flynn. The fleet-footed raider there, profiting from this quickly taken free kick there in the centre by Colin Brady. Skipped away from the challenge and belted it over. Great point. Just looking a little fresher now in the last few minutes, Colin O'Rourke. Brian Steins needing more assistance, however, from Paul Beelan. Has been a disappointment so far. Robbie O'Malley, the player in front of him, a player coming from behind. Players coming from the front. Charlie Redmond has it. Pushed out. Robbie O'Malley conceding a free kick. Leeds captain this year. Charlie's kick. Dublin needing something. They've fallen away after a promising start. McGalvin. Belted out by Martin O'Connell. Picked up very low indeed by John McDermott. Driven out by Graham Garrity. Touched on the ground by Colin O'Rourke, and a free into Dublin. Here's one Dublin need to put the minimum between the teams and keep it nicely balanced. 2 pointed frees out of 3 so far for Charlie Redmond, and it's Meath leading by 4 points to 3. Tommy Dowd is now playing on the 40 for Meath, being marked by Dermot Deasy, and Colin O'Rourke is the Meath full forward. Keith Barr has gone back on him. Pat Gilroy laying it inside for Paul Curran. Promising build-up here. Colin Brady, pressurised. Brian Steins is in there in the thick of the action as well, and that's going to be a free out. Brian Steins backing back the whole time, but Jack Sheedy is back there assisting him. Now Paul Curran for the Dublin side, trailing by a point. Low-scoring first half. Last half minute, Tommy Dowd trying to get away from Dermot Deasy. When he was getting the right kind of ball in front of goal, he was causing a lot of problems for Deasy. And this time, for not retreating quickly enough, Dermot Deasy has his name taken. So 2 Dubliners now have their names recorded. Tommy Dowd for Trevor Giles. Nicely inside to Bernard Flynn. Back outside here to Jimmy McGuinness, and that's a point. McGuinness gets his first point of the day, the broad smile on the face saying it all. The flag's raised, and Meath leading by 5 points to 3. This is where Bernard Flynn again caused some consternation in front of goal, had the good vision to pick out McGuinness. Marking is a little slack, however. Brian Steins trying to open it up here. Niall Guyden. A lot of movement off the ball, just way ahead of him, but he's putting the head down. Good link man between defence and attack, but they need the ball. And a poor kick in the end. Colin Coyle judging it well. There's one man in that position. It wasn't the best option. It was taken by Guyden. Coyle. Dublin's struggling quite a bit to get their game plan going. This time the referee calling aside Keith Barr, and also Colin O'Rourke. He's telling them to concentrate on the game and end the private duel. Ball will be thrown up. We're 2 minutes now into injury time. Meath leading by 5 points to 3. The other players are supposed to be back a far greater distance than that, and that's the final piece of action in the first half. A game which has struggled to really get going, but it's tough and it's tight. Colin O'Rourke has recovered from that knock on the right leg, and Meath will be the happier going in at half-time. They lead by 2 points. The half-time score is Meath 5, Dublin 3. Make a change in midfield. Paul Clark there in the background has come in place of Paul Beelan, and they'll be hoping to do something about Meath's 2 point lead straight away. And Robbie O'Malley has been pushing Charlie Redmond, and Charlie went down like a sack of potatoes, and they'll get the free in. This is Charlie's 7th free kick in the match, just 2 points so far. This should be right at the start of the second half to lift Dublin hearts and spirits. He knocks it over confidently for his third point. Curiously, none of the Dublin forwards has yet scored from play. Graham Geraghty coming onto this one. Dublin very slow to close him down whenever he does advance. And that time, a punch by Paul Clark. Penalised by the referee. Not a fair attempt at dispossessing. Trevor Giles. Keith Barr misjudges it, gets support from Paddy Moran, and Colm O'Rourke is in there, and the legs are taken from Keith Barr, and that's going to be a free out. Last challenge, I think, came in there from Jimmy McGuinness. Where that race for possession after Keith Barr had fumbled. Colm O'Rourke challenging Paddy Moran. Watch McGuinness coming across then, along with Colm O'Rourke. That's been taken as far as Kieran Walsh. Down to Jack Sheedy. Yet to be a major influence in this game. Murphy making life difficult. Niall Guyden. Mick Deegan now just looking around to see what's on. Kieran Walsh coming out of his right corner back position. Niall Guyden floating it across towards Pat Gilroy. Turning inside Brendan Riley. Stumbling onto Paul Curran. Back to Guyden once again. Graham Geraghty making life difficult. That's Colin Brady. Back to Riley. Riley got an elbow there from Gilroy. Play continues. Fisted out by Colm O'Rourke. Good vision. Look where Robbie O'Malley has drifted forward to Brian Stafford. Nice composure. On to Tommy Dowd. Great block down. Wonderful block by Kieran Walsh. That's great skill. Feels, I think, that his jersey was being tugged. Bernard Flynn making life very, very rough indeed for the Dublin number 4. He's so sharp, so alert, so quick in front of goal. Brian Stafford. Kieran Walsh still being attended to, play continuing. Comes out towards John McDermott. That's such a good first half. Likewise, Tommy Dowd. McDermott's kick. Some tough challenges coming in. Just a point between the teams. Meath the leaders by 5 points to 4. John McDermott had been winning a lot of ball at midfield. Let's see what happens now. It sails back towards Graham Geraghty. First time forward every time, Graham Geraghty. Bernard Flynn. That'll be a free kick. And Pat O'Neill has just made another interesting change. And it's Vinnie Murphy who comes in. And I think Meath are also planning to make a change. And PJ Gillick is coming in for them in place of Brian Stafford. So can Vinnie make a change up front? Disappointing afternoon for Brian Stafford. Sean Boylan having to make the change. Jack Sheedy taking it well under pressure. Dublin have been the nearly team in recent years, and this is the season when they've got to try and produce it. Not if Martin O'Connell and company have anything to do with it. And he's straight as far as Niall Guyden. Dublin behind by a point, remember. Guyden releasing it outside to Mick Galvin. Will he go for the score himself? Inside towards Paul Clark. Clark kicking, the equaliser. Level for the second time in the match, and the substitute is on the field, just 11 minutes. Has tied it up at 5 points each. It held a lot of promise, really. And Mick Galvin held up the ball well. And Meath were very slow to close down Paul Clark. Delighted Hill supporters in the background. Dublin have looked better at the start of the second half. Brian Steins towards Jack Sheedy. That's a dangerous challenge there from Cormac Murphy. Could have caused problems. Taken down towards Charlie Redmond. Mick Deegan trying to sneak inside, but it's Robbie O'Malley instead for Meath. The captain trying to steady the ship towards PJ Gillick. Well, the St. Niall Guyden, get out of my way. Paddy Moran here. Huron Walsh saying take it back. There was a fumble. Some of the defenders seemed to hear a whistle. There was none. There is now. Deacy's taken it quickly. Paul Curran. Back to Dermot Deacy. From the Garda club to another Garda, Jack Sheedy. Brendan Riley takes him down. Dublin get the free kick. Dublin have seized the initiative. Can they transfer that, however, into scoring opportunities? Colm Coyle. Meath's full back line has been excellent this afternoon. PJ Gillick to Tommy Dowd. Players moving ahead of them. One of them is Jimmy McGuinness. Can he get a touch on him? He can. Releasing it to O'Rourke. On the left boot. Well, normally that would have gone over. Two players on the ground here. Jimmy McGuinness and Keith Barr. It was a really good attack. And he'd be disappointed that he didn't at least hit the target. And this is where Colm had this great opportunity of putting Meath in front ahead in a match where fitness will surely be a telling factor. The winners of this Leinster final, of course, facing Leitrim down in about 3 weeks' time. Vinnie Murphy releasing Jack Sheedy. Nicely down towards Dessie Farrell, but it's Colm Coyle. You can play him just about anywhere. He'll do the business for you. Graham Geraghty taking the free kick quickly. John McDermott from screen. Towards his clubmate if he can get him, but it's Keith Barr instead. Paul Clark. He's been busy at midfield. That's a great ball. Brian Steins, nobody at all on him. McDermott dragging his shirt. There's the kick. Is that the lead? It is! Great point. And a second one at that by Brian Steins. Joyous fans on the hill. The lead has changed hands 3 times so far, but there was very poor marking. John McDermott has run his heart out. Should have been back there, marking this fella here. He was dragging the jersey, but all in vain. A great kick and a fine point. Vinnie Murphy coming to claim it again with a fine catch. Lovely skill, tight control. Young players, there's an awful lot of good coaching around the Dublin area. Very popular figure. But when you've got a talent like Vinnie Murphy that you can spring from the bench, my goodness, what a rich, talented panel you've got. You're watching the Charlie Redmond chuckle as he bids to put 2 points between the teams. And he succeeds with his 4th pointed free. In this first clash of Meath and Dublin in the senior final since 1990. Ger Regan is coming in, and it seems that Dermot Deacy is the one who's about to be replaced. Had his moments, but always found Tommy Dowd quite a handful. Vinnie Murphy, huge leap in the air. You know, if the Dublin selectors were saying, well, we weren't playing well, weren't doing the business, but we'll give you a chance. And now he's responding. In towards Vinnie Murphy again, trying to break it down. Dessie Farrell looking for support, getting it from Niall Guyden. And Guyden has slotted it over. His first point of the day. And that, I think, the first point by a Dublin forward from play. Dessie Farrell setting up the number 12 from Raheny. And a delighted expression on his face. PJ Gillick. Quick look around. Nice ball in. Oh, that was so dangerous. Tommy Dowd was breaking left. McGuinness was going right. John O'Leary was in a dither. This was a wonderful ball inside by PJ Gillick. Should have produced a shot. They all missed it. Brian Steins trying to win the battle at midfield. It's a real struggle. Vinnie Murphy to Graham Geraghty. Always looks to have time at his disposal. Strongly built young man. Likewise Tommy Dowd. And Dowd wants that ball quickly. Ger Regan going back. shaping up there with Niall Guyden, I think. And McDeegan trying to play the role of peacemaker. Oh, heating up just a little. Free kick is taken quickly towards Jody Devine. Jack Sheedy going across. Still Devine. And into the grateful arms of John O'Leary. Look where Graham Geraghty is. And he fists a point. Meath's first score of the second half. He's giving great leadership, the number 5. A point in each half. Whenever he pushes forward, he causes problems. Scored a point earlier on, as I said. Made a few more chances as well. And now it's Dublin 8, Meath 6. And anybody's title. John O'Leary's been told by referee Brian White that he's prepared to add on a few extra minutes if there's time wasting. Paul Clark spills down to McDeegan. On to Vinnie Murphy. Wanting to win another Leinster medal. He steps over the sideline. Senior heads towards Tommy Dowd, adjudged to have been pushing back that time into Ger Regan. Touched on by Brian Steins. Paul McMurphy waiting for it. John McDermott expecting the challenge to come in as it did from Vinnie Murphy. Off the back that time of Brian Steins. We take it again. Jack Sheedy touching it down, just doing enough to keep it away from Graham Geraghty. Sheer persistence there by the Meath forwards in closing down Sheedy, and Colm O'Rourke has another chance. And again it's gone astray. Just 1 point from the match so far. And things are a nice looking shiner there tomorrow. Little to choose between the teams. Meath looked the better side of the first half. Dublin looked the better for most of the second half. Kieran Walsh. Desi Farrell just getting away. Belted in. And the referee saw some holding, and it's going to be a free out. Free for Meath. Jersey tugging. In a bit of a hurry now to restart, trailing by 2 points. Just about 9 minutes left. Touchdown by PJ Gillick. Meath players anxious for possession. Jody Devine dispossessed by Jack Sheedy, who's having a great second half. Niall Guyden across there to Paul Curran. Player down on the ground, Brian Steins. Martin O'Connell under it. Driven back defiantly. Dublin there in numbers. Curran again. Trying to slip away from the challenges. PJ Gillick drags him down. It's quite a struggle, this. Turned out to be quite a misty afternoon. Desi Farrell skipping away from Colm Coyle. Chance of a score. And again, he kicks it well away from goal. From the Fianna in Glasnevin, and he's yet to score this afternoon. Brian Steins for a Dublin side that has played its full hand with 3 subs having come on in the second half. Charlie Redmond is winning the free kick. Meath with just 1 point to show for the second half so far. Looks good. Oh, it's a goal! A dreadful mistake by Mickey McQuillan, and he'll be the first to know it. The ball has been getting a little bit of slippery from the rain. The goalkeeper who came back in to replace Donald Smith has fumbled at a most critical time. Dublin now with their tails up, having a comfortable lead, if you can ever have a comfortable lead against your great old rivals from Meath. Jack Sheedy laying it down the line towards Brian Steins, towards Desi Farrell. Players calling for it. Farrell kicking, going for glory, getting the point. What a time to get your first point of the match. Celebration time on Hill 16. Dublin lead by double scores, and this the critical one here. Did McQuillan take his eye off the ball? Heartbreak for the goalkeeper. Who would be a goalkeeper? No place to hide when you're in Croke Park and you make a major mistake. Graham Geraghty. Meath still with 6 minutes left. If anybody can do it for them, surely it's Geraghty, but he runs out of space, and the hustling there from Mick Deegan caused Geraghty to lose his concentration and possession. Dublin's scoring contribution to the second half so far has been a goal and 6 points against just 1 point for Meath. They really have upped their game, and whatever Pat O'Neill and the other selectors said at half-time has certainly paid off, plus the switches and the changes. Tommy Dowd has it. Covered very quickly indeed by Ger Regan. Outside to Brendan Riley. They need a point, and Riley supplies it. From St. Peter's in Dunboyne. So there's still time and still a bit of hope, I'm sure, for Meath, if they could get a goal. Great kick by Brendan Riley. The Meath wing-backs have contributed 3 points from play. John O'Leary in no particular hurry. The 33-year-old netminder and team captain. John McDermott breaks it down. Jody Devine. Doing well. Goal possibilities for Graham Geraghty. He's got it! Graham Geraghty has put Meath right back in the match. Well, they've been mightily relieved. Out of it for so long, but now just 2 points between the teams. It's turning out to be a tremendous finish, and that was a great goal. What a match Graham Geraghty is playing. He never deserved to be on the losing side if that's going to happen. Devine in for Geraghty, who made great ground, and O'Leary beaten all ends up. Brendan Riley calling, but in there as well is Brian Steins. Nicely kicked forward there by John McDermott. Broken ball won smartly here by Paul Curran. Great block down by PJ Gillick. That's tremendous skill. It's been a tough, hard, competitive Leinster final, as you expect when these teams meet in the final, but there's been so much good skill to admire as well. This was a wonderful block, great timing, wrists out action, wonderful. Colin Brady, assisted there by Cormac Murphy, comes however to Paul Clark, just making a bit of room, space, using a second or two. Oh, what an aimless finish at the end, and he'll know it. And Dublin have been in front in the past in major matches and allowed it slip away, and this is where they need single-minded composure. Wonderful catch. Nicely taken by John McDermott. What a match he's played. Towards Graham Geraghty. Breaks down to Bernard Flynn. On to PJ Gillick. Another scoring chance here. One between them. PJ Gillick. You never have a Meath team beaten. They're amazing the way they come back time and time again. And there's still 2 minutes to go as PJ Gillick slots this one over seemingly effortlessly. Joe Castles must have thought it was gone. Likewise, Sean Boylan. They're relieved. I'm sure Michael McQuillan in goal is just as relieved. A minute left. It's there for the taking. Colm O'Rourke has it. If they win this one, they will have shown us all yet again what an amazing team they are. And Keith Barr's side struggling now to hang on. John Boylan is in there making the instructions, I think telling Colm O'Rourke that it should be left. We're inside the last minute now. They have to make their minds up as to what they're going to do. Take it from the hands or the ground. Probably from the ground. Anxious seconds. PJ Gillick in the last minute has the chance to tie up the game. There would still be perhaps some injury time. Dropping in, taken well by Jack Sheedy, dropped down, John O'Leary has it, and Dublin hold on to their 1 point lead. Mick Deegan, down the line it goes to Regan, bad challenge. John McDermott certainly didn't have the feet on the ground, I think, when he was coming in on that one there. It's going to be a free kick. Free kick is the outcome. Joe Regan is back on his feet again, the St Vincent's player. Is there another chance? 1-9 to 1-8. Breaks out here. Important possession for Colin Brady. Colm Coyle. Touchdown here. Colm O'Rourke struggling to get onto it, but it comes back nicely for John McDermott. Into space towards Graham Geraghty. This time he drops it down, and Regan has it. A tenacious player, playing his heart out, and it's all over! Dublin are the champions! The 3 in a row for Dublin! Well, Michael McQuillan will know that his mistake was in part responsible at the very least. It happened. There's sympathy for him. Who'd be a keeper? And Mick Galvin with Martin O'Connell going in to console him. But the joy is for Dublin. They really came storming back in the second half. And a great goal by Meath wasn't just quite enough. And Dublin lead and win by a point. It's Dublin 1-9, Meath 1-8. Dublin are the Leinster champions. Well, it's misery for one goalkeeper, it's joy for another. The Bank of Ireland Leinster Championship won by Dublin.
I've been dreaming of an Ireland final appearance since I was 6, you know. No, definitely, I will take Leitrim first, you know, and we'll try and beat them because, you know, any team that wins a championship, you know, over in Connacht is definitely going to be a good football team. So hopefully now we'll beat Leitrim and then we'll take it from there.
Well, it was really hard fought. I think the standard of play at times mightn't have been of the highest level, but there was fantastic effort from players on both sides, and I think that, you know, overall maybe Dublin shaded it. It seems as if we are paying for the sins of the past. Sometimes we won games that maybe were very tight, and Dublin are doing the same to us now. But again, you know, no complaints from our side.
You're enjoying a long and distinguished career. Will you stay at the top?
Well, I'm thinking of. I'll have to talk to a few people before I make any decisions on that.
Colm O'Rourke is a great player. He's done his county very well, and I seem to do all right on him when I mark him. Again, he's a danger man. You can't keep your eyes off him. We decided before going out in the match that each player marks his man, no matter where they end up in the pitch. And I think it worked out for us in the end because we won, basically, really.
Your first time to play in a major final like this one here. What impressed you about it?
Wasn't losing anyway, but just the atmosphere about Dublin and reading the Leinster final is great. So this, but we'll be back next year, hopefully the same thing.
Sum up your feelings just now.
Very disappointed, but we've a lot to look forward to. We've a young team, and we'll be back next year again.
Now, you've played, of course, in the Australian code, Australian rules football. How does it compare to a tough Leinster final like that?
There's not much difference, I can tell you.
The rules are supposed to be different, Brian.
Yeah. No, definitely there it is a physical game, and that you can tackle the body and go for the body. But still out there was everybody going for the body as well, you know. I mean, I can tell you I've got a few marks on my body, but no, definitely it was tougher than anything I've played over in Ireland, and it definitely compares with Australia, you know.
What happened at half-time that Dublin came out so determined and so united in the second half?
Well, definitely, we didn't talk too much at half-time. We just got the message that was short and sharp and just like, lads, nothing's worked so far and we can only get better, and we just go out there and play to the game plan and things will start turning around, and that's what we did, and things started turning around, you know.
We got the goal, was lucky. I think we got a point after that. I don't think we were constantly, defending. Maybe just dropped back a little bit. Meath were coming at us again, because they had to. And you sort of funneled back at that stage to try and defend. We didn't do it particularly well for the goal.
Now you're into the last 4 of the championship, which is what the real purpose of the exercise is. And how do you now rate your chances? You've been close before.
We have, yeah. I thought the purpose of the exercise was to win it. We were in the last 4 last year. We just have to go further. I mean, there's no point in playing all our semi-finals and all our finals and not winning it. I mean, it's been a long time now, and we just have to win it.
You were there in '83 when the All-Ireland was won. How much does Dublin need to win an All-Ireland?
Well, certainly the players need it badly. I mean, there's a lot of players who have been around for 7 or 8 years. And the fans and the clubs in the city and the county want it, and they deserve it.
So congratulations then to Dublin, champions still in Leinster, and also through to an All-Ireland semi-final meeting with Leitrim in 3 weeks' time. And now next here on the game on Monday, it's competition time, and we have 2 chances for you to win tickets to the All-Ireland finals. How to enter coming up in a moment. That's after you've looked first at the contenders for the football scores of the month. Score A was by Paul Beelan of Dublin in their win.